Yeah, go ahead, Marty, say something.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
That's good enough. People usually think of more clever things to say than that, but
Yeah, you're done, Marty. Good job.
all right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Talk to you
guys.
later, man.
So let's don't discuss anything. Let's just get with it,
Yeah,
shall
I
we?
didn't say shit to Marty, so he doesn't know.
All right.
Nobody knows.
Marty doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Check.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast. We're here with Marty Curran. And Marty, appreciate your being with us today.
Thank you, sir.
Marty is interested in becoming a starting strength coach. And I thought we would just talk to Marty about what the hell he's got in mind here. What is wrong with you? You know you're going to fail, don't you?
Yes, I do.
And I say that because those of you who have been to the seminar are familiar with my preamble that starts at 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, wherein I instruct everyone who is opting in to try to be evaluated as a starting strength coach that they are in fact going to fail. I say you are going to fail. The staff who is going to evaluate you has instructions to fail you by default. The default assumption is that you do not pass unless you can prove to the staff that you are operating on their level. And since we do all 5 of the lifts, you have an opportunity to be examined by 5 different staff people. We try to mix it up to the point where we have as many different eyeballs on the candidate as we can, so that there's not just 1 or 2 people making a decision about this. I think it's important to note that I have absolutely nothing to do with the evaluation of the people on the platform. I have absolutely nothing to do with the grading of the tests anymore. It's completely out of my hands. We have taken these steps to ensure as much insulation from any kind of potential criticism about this being the Rippetoe show as possible. And as a result, for the past couple of years, I have had absolutely no input into who passes and who fails the coaching credential examination. And that's the way we want it to be. The evaluation is extremely thorough, it's extremely difficult, and the vast majority of people do not pass. The pass rate is about 10%. And as a result of that, you know that anyone with the starting strength coach credential is in fact worthy of being paid attention to. This is not the industry norm. The industry norm is you pay your money, you get your certification. The starting strength seminar norm is you pay your money and you fail. And then you come back and maybe you'll pass it the second time. But we fail more people than we pass. And this is the only direction I have for the coaching evaluation team, is that this thing cannot be handed out. We have made mistakes in the past about who we granted the credential to, and we, as a result of evaluating those mistakes, we've tightened things up to the point where we are going to try our best to not do that again. And as a result, you could probably say that the evaluation process is overly harsh, but it does result in a very high quality product, the highest quality product in the entire fitness industry, bar none, without exception. The starting strength coach is the hardest credential to obtain, and it will always be that way. The much vaunted CSCS, granted by the National Strength and Conditioning Association, has become a ticket that you punch when you graduate with an ex-phys degree. And our credential is completely different. It's got absolutely no characteristics in common with that type of industry practice. There are credentials where they say on the website, if you don't pass, you don't pay. And what are you guys doing? You know, there are about 120 starting strength coaches in the world right now, and we're not growing very fast, and that's just fine. Everyone with the credential is busy with it, as busy as they want to be. The product is in demand, and the credential is your assurance of that type of quality in terms of the job you'll get done when you hire a starting strength coach. Marty's with us today, and Marty has decided that he wants to try to get the credential. So we're going to talk to Marty about this. Marty, who got you into this mess?
That would have to be you.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
October last year at the Starting Strength Seminar in Omaha. I had no intention whatsoever at the time to do this, but you just gave me the bug.
Well, how did that happen, you think?
I don't know. I've always been a pretty good coach, I suppose. Not at specifically weightlifting, but whatever job I've had. I like coaching. I enjoy the process, and I've never felt any more satisfaction. So I came back from the seminar, and I had a gym in my basement, and I started working with some buddies of mine, and I've never felt that kind of satisfaction to see them grow through it and see the change, and you know, it helped my buddy with his knees and everything else. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It is quite satisfying to be able to help people in this profound way. It's a lot more meaningful than just writing them a prescription like a doctor
Absolutely.
would do. You're walking them through the process of rebuilding every aspect of their physical existence, and it's a profound deal. Yeah, coaching people is something that it takes time to learn how to do it. It takes considerable amount of time to learn how to do it, and it is, in fact, very satisfying, and you don't have to be a starting strength coach to be able to effectively coach people. But if you have applied for the starting strength coach examination, and if you have proven that you do, in fact, know how to coach this material, that is the source of a lot of confidence from the people who are seeking out your services as a coach. And the biggest problem we see, and we'll ask Marty about this, the biggest problem we see at seminars is not so much that people do not know the method that they're going to coach, because you can get that out of the books, and if you've been to the seminar, we hand you the method. We teach you how to do the method at the seminar. We explain it quite thoroughly, and by the time an intelligent person gets onto the squat platform, he's been taught why we squat the way we do and how we squat the way we do. The problem with most coaching candidates is that they lack the experience that it takes to watch their trainee perform the movements, assess the thing they are seeing in front of them on the platform against the model, and then say the things they need to say to be able to effectively correct the problems that they see. And there's no shortcut to this whatsoever. You cannot be granted experience. You have to earn experience. And this is the biggest problem with every one of the other certifications in this industry. There is no assessment of your experience. And our platform evaluation and our written exam are both specifically designed to do just that. And that's why there's such a high failure rate. So, Marty, what have you done since you came to the seminar last year in Omaha? What have you been working on, and how have you improved your situation since then?
Well, I did open a gym. It's 300 square feet, so I'll call it a studio.
That's a bathroom, Marty.
It is. But I've got 2 racks in it, and I've got 2 buddies of mine who don't pay me per se. They help me with the rent, and I coach them when I'm in town. Job makes me travel a lot. But I do that, and then the wife's got a couple of friends, two ladies that I coach on and off every once in a while. They come in for form checks, so not too much. And I've got a few clients just starting, so that I actually find that a little more useful to be trained at. So they're starting. I don't know. The experience is pretty light. To be completely honest, but
well,
I do go to the forums
it's a start,
as much as I can.
You know, it's a start.
It's the best I can do right now.
How many times have you read the books?
I've been through the basic starting strength book probably about 5 times, and I've been through the practical programming book about twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I've done quite a bit of reading on them. I take them on me in airplanes when I travel and such. And I do spend a lot of time on the forum watching, you know, the coaches evaluate people's lifts. And I'm actually doing a little beta program with my starting strength coach, Bill Hannon. So he's doing some stuff, and I'm watching his videos, and then I'm watching his critique afterwards after I critique it.
And comparing yours to his. So what's your educational background, Marty?
So I started out in physical engineering, then ended up in electronics, went through the Air Force and did a lot of electronics, and now I do it's hard to explain. It's television, but I do broadcast system design.
So you have a science background.
Yes.
What was your undergraduate degree?
It was actually engineering drafting.
Right. But you've had physics and chemistry and
yes,
and all the basic hard science background. And this is something that we really encourage. We've seen an extremely high rate of correlation between a formal science background, and it doesn't matter too much what it is, a formal hard science background, and the ability to handle this material. And it may come as a shock to some of you people, but we do not consider an exercise physiology degree to be a formal hard science background. I am not aware of an exercise physiology program in the country right now, and those of you that are aware can feel free to correct me. I'm not aware of a program that has Calc 2 as a prerequisite. I don't think there are any. And you're not a science major if you haven't had Calc 2. And now I know that there are some biology programs that don't take you that far into math. And those, depending on how they're taught, may be an exception, but I really think that one of the weeding mechanisms for someone that's not able to quantitatively and qualitatively handle this material is a formal science background. And I don't necessarily mean that you have to have a physics degree, but you had to have had the material, and you had to have had it in a situation where you've been tested on it. Failing that, there are English majors that pass this. They don't have as easy a time with it, and they have to spend a lot more time leveling, obtaining a science background and learning how to think like this. Marty's prepared himself a long time ago for this kind of material, and it's to his advantage that he's got that kind of a background. Now, I assume that your academic background did not include a lot of biology, so what have you done to catch up on that?
Well, I bought me a Netter's Anatomy book, and I've been doing a lot of study on that. I've also done a lot of research on say the dietary stuff as well, trying to get myself where I need to be. So I've learned a lot about that, and I'm just studying the Netter's Anatomy book as best as I can. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of material. It is a lot of material.
There's Netter's, you know, on first inspection, it's a book of drawings, but right. That's only the first inspection. You have to. Netter is a long study, and it's quite valuable. What have you done about the physiology part of this, Marty? Have you looked at any physiology stuff?
I haven't really spent a lot of time doing the physiology.
I think that
It's
probably you're going to find that that is a hole. It will enable you to handle the nutritional stuff a whole lot better if you understand the basics of what happens in a cell. And
Sure.
my recommendation would be a basic A&P text. Anatomy and physiology is typically what a curriculum offers as an intro to that material. And then get a general physiology text, which would be the junior and college level version of that same material. Go through that, and then the third part of that would be Brooks and Fahey, which is the actual exercise science material translated from general physiology into ex-phys. And the interesting thing is that there aren't many exercise physiology programs in the country that actually use Brooks and Fahey as their primary resource. It is regarded by a lot of people to be over the heads of their students. And it's unfortunate. It really is. But you need to get headed in that direction. I think that your basic preparation academically is pretty solid with the exception of that. So I would suggest that would be your next project. Now, how many people are you coaching right now? 5 or 6, is that right?
It's between 5 and 6. Yeah.
Have you?
Some are pretty sporadic.
Have you thought about moving out of the bathroom and into like a bathroom and a bedroom, or? I mean, because you'll be able to coach more people if you have a little more room to where they can sit. You know.
Yeah. We'll see. I think I need to attract some attention before I bother to start paying more than what I'm paying for my bathroom.
How much are you paying for your bathroom, just out of curiosity?
$375 a month.
More than $1 a foot for a bathroom? Where do you live?
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
You live in Cheyenne, and the real estate is that expensive in Cheyenne?
Yeah, that's about the cheapest you're going to find.
That's difficult to believe. Is a bunch of Californians moved in, or what?
We don't tend to go up and down with the rest of the country. We just keep going
stay
up.
expensive. Well, that's real interesting. What's the population of Cheyenne now?
About 65,000.
65,000 people, and they're that proud of their retail space. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was the cheapest I could find.
I hadn't been there in a while, so I used to ride through there all the time, but it's been quite some time since I've been to Cheyenne. Nice little town. So when were you planning on coming back for the evaluation?
So the Denver seminar coming up here in July.
All right.
So
Well,
confidence level's probably not very high, but
we'll give it another shot. Every time you come to the seminar, you're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff that you did not pick up the first time or the previous time. We've had people come to this seminar 4 times before they passed. Sean Pang, our coach in Singapore, has had a checkered history with with passing the seminar, but he finally got through it. He's a good coach. But he was the most persistent human being we've ever seen. God almighty, how many times did he come? He came 4 times, I think, from Singapore to New York City, like twice.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he's a crazy person. But he's running a gym now, and a fairly successful little business venture in Singapore using what he knows, and he's doing real well. And that's a prime example of a guy that just stuck to it. And to be honest, one of the problems we had previously had was, a guy that had come 3 times, we felt sorry for him, and probably some of the coaches decided, well, it's his 3rd time. Surely he's smarter than he's acting today, and gave him, passed him when when they shouldn't have done so. And as a result, we had a coach that didn't belong in the association. And Sean Pang was not subjected to that level of sentimentality. Sean Pang had his ass kicked about 3 times, and he finally got through after he had learned the material and done it, and he did a good job. We've got a couple of coaches. We got a coach in Seoul, in Korea, who had a hard time getting through because his English wasn't good, but he's a good coach. Got a new guy in Australia. So we've got coaches in several places. We got our good buddy Carl Raghavan, who is the prince of the UK, and Carl's got a monopoly over there. He really does. Can't carry a pocket knife, but you know.
Yeah.
But he has a good little business going over there, and you know, it sounds like that you've been once. You've got some physiology to learn. You probably are closing in on the anatomy. You've got a good science background. You know how to think, and that's the primary. That's the primary thing. You can, if you've got a good science background, you can teach yourself the other stuff more easily. And I think you probably found that to be the case, haven't you?
Yes.
And coaching experience is the last piece of the puzzle. That's the piece of the puzzle that none of the other organizations evaluate, and it's the one that we find to be the biggest stumbling block, even for people who have done their homework in terms of the theoretical background material. You've got to know how to evaluate and correct movement pattern errors. And that just takes time and experience. So what we'll do is we will see in Denver what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, Marty, I appreciate you being with us today, and you know, work real hard between now and then. Good luck with the material, and good luck with your upcoming evaluation, and we'll have a report for everybody on how you did.
There we go.
We'll see, won't we?
Yes, we will.
And thank you for being with us today on the podcast. We'll see you next time.